Welcome back to the program, everyone. I'm Megan Fox. I write with pjmedia.com, and today I wanted to bring you an update on what's going on with the Caitlin Bernard abortionist story, which the 10-year-old Ohio rape case has basically been turned into an attention tour for Dr. Caitlin Bernard. The real victim of this story is not the 10-year-old who was raped by an illegal alien, but the abortion doctor who performed the abortion. Oh, yeah, that's what they want you to believe. So let's go over to the Daily Mail because this is, and again, I stand by my assessment that almost all of the news you see is fake as fuck. And this this is one example of fake news. Fake news. It's just everywhere. But let's get to it. Let's read this, shall we? Come spend a day in my clinic. Indiana doctor who performed abortion on 10-year-old rape victim is suing home state attorney general for defaming her. Right there. That's a lie. That's not true. She's not actually suing. She sent him a nasty letter saying, I might sue you if you don't give me some money. That's what she did. So it's not true that she's suing the Indiana Attorney General. That's false. I hate these pop-ups, and no, I don't have pop-up blocker. I wish I did. I don't know how to do it because I have boomer tech skills, which all of you know. So I can't even get through this headline without finding the first lie. Suing home state AG for defaming her as an abortion activist and threatening to pull her license for a procedure on Ohio girl. Maybe I'll just try and blow up the screen so we don't have to look at the ads. Will that work? Speaking on national television Tuesday, all right, let's skip over their stupid bullet points. I hate the way they write these things. And look at this. This is for lazy people who don't read past the headline, so they put the story in bullet points. And look at this bullet point right here. The victim was forced to get an abortion in Indiana because she was more than 6 weeks pregnant. The cutoff in her home state of Ohio. That's a lie. There is no 6-week cutoff in Ohio. So the Daily Mail can't even get it. They can't even get the law right. They clearly didn't even. Alex Hammer, who writes for the Daily Mail, didn't bother to do his due diligence and read the law because there is no 6-week cutoff in the Ohio abortion law. It's a heartbeat bill. It's ridiculous that they keep repeating this lie. When was this published? July 27th? God, is it that late in the month? Have I lost that many days? That's today. Oh my gosh. I am so behind on work. I really need to get back to it. Maybe I'll write about this and what fake news it is. All right, let's go down here. Let's read through this, shall we? The Indiana doctor whose abortion on a 10-year-old girl was used as a talking point by the left and doubted. I'm glad they said it that way because they did. That's what they did. They used it as a talking point by the left and doubted by conservatives has hit back at her detractors, including the state's attorney general, who she is suing for defamation. Again, fake as fuck. She's not suing anybody. She sent a notice of writ, a claim of writ, or a writ. Wait, what was it? I can't remember the legal term now, but it's not a real lawsuit. It's just a letter saying, pay me money or I'm going to sue you. But if he doesn't do anything, as I would advise him to do nothing, I would say just ignore her like she doesn't exist and wait for her to file the lawsuit. It's that simple. Don't give her a dime. She doesn't have a case. The account asserts the unnamed girl was forced to seek an abortion in Indiana after her home state of Ohio barred abortions. Again, fake news. They didn't bar abortions. What the heck? Why do these things keep popping up? They did not bar abortions in Ohio. There are exceptions to the law, and a pregnant 10-year-old fits the exception. And became a flashpoint in the debate over abortion rights after it was shared by a local newspaper by an unnamed source last month. No, it wasn't an unnamed source. The one source was Caitlin Bernard, and she was named, but she was only one source, which was our entire problem with the story was that they only used one source and didn't corroborate her story with anyone. So right here, they've got this wrong too, by an unnamed source. I mean, do you see why it's so frustrating for people like me who actually do write news to watch the way journalists treat news stories? I mean, This is so bad, Alex, if that's your name, Alex Hammer. This is so bad. Like, you didn't even do basic, you didn't even look into the story in a basic way to find, you didn't even read the Indianapolis Star piece, and you would have known that it wasn't an unnamed source. It was literally Caitlin Bernard, the person that you're writing about right now. Do you see how bad this is? The story soon came under scrutiny, as it should have, because it only had one source, with pundits, politicians, news publications, and even personalities clashing over its veracity following last month's controversial overturning of Roe v. Wade. The initial doubt, however, was soon quelled after it was revealed that the rape had taken place and that a 27-year-old Ohio man has been charged with raping the girl. Ohio man? Ohio man? Really, Alex Hammer? Ohio man? You mean an illegal alien from Guatemala? Do you see how they do this? Do you see how they do this? Records further revealed that the abortion also occurred days after the historic ruling, and that Indianapolis obstetrician gynecologist Caitlin Bernard was the doctor who performed it. Speaking on national television Tuesday, Bernard slammed politicians and news publications who questioned the story's veracity after the Supreme Court nixed federal rights for abortions in June. Oh, here she is again, St. Bernard. St. Bernard here is the one who's really, she's the one who's suffering. And so they have these weepy pictures of her. And here we go. Let's play this. Exclusive on CBS. Dr. Caitlin Bernard, who, according to Indiana state records, provided an abortion to a 10-year-old rape victim, tells those who doubt the veracity of children needing abortion, come spend a day in my clinic. I have a lot to say about this, but let's just play it.
There were Republican lawmakers. There was the Wall Street Journal editorial page that doubted the veracity of that case. To those that doubt the veracity of children needing abortions,
excuse me? That was not what people were doubting at all. Doubting the veracity of children needing abortions? Is she high? What is wrong with this woman? That was not the story. No one doubt. And the idea that for these people, all they care about is that a 10-year-old can get an abortion instead of where's the rapist? How come she didn't say people who doubted this story was real because there was no criminal investigation reported? And a raped 10-year-old is a huge, heinous crime. That's what was being doubted, the veracity of Caitlin Bernard's story, not the fact that there are children out there who have been raped or sexually abused. That's not what anybody had any doubts about. And look how they twist this crap. Look how they twist this to make it sound like people doubted the children were abused. Are you kidding?
Would you say?
Come spend a day in my clinic. Come see the care that we provide every single day.
I would love to do that, Caitlin. Is that an official invitation? I would love to do that. Can I come spend a day in your clinic and see what you do and how many underage patients you have? How come she has so many kids coming to her for abortions? Are all of these children, are they getting justice? Are the rapists being held accountable?
The situations that people find themselves in and in need of abortion care are some of the most difficult that you could imagine. And that's why we as physicians need to be able to provide that care unhindered, that medical decisions need to be made between a physician and their patients.
Have you felt threatened?
Yes, it shows.
Have you felt threatened? Well, they always feel threatened. Whenever they're called out on their bullshit, they always say they're threatened. Oh, yes, I feel threatened. Yet at the same time, you should see my email. You should see the messages that I get. It's part of being a public figure, Caitlin. It's part of putting yourself out on the media. You're going to get criticized. That's not being threatened. Your word was being doubted because you were the only source for a story and you refused to give up your reports. Boy, I would like this Nora O'Donnell to ask this doctor why the hell she didn't turn over the reports to the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal and me and everybody else who asked for them when we asked for them. Why did she wait a week and make everybody, including the Attorney General of Indiana, think that she didn't do it because she wouldn't talk? What was stopping her from saying, yeah, I followed the law. I turned in my reports on July 2nd.
How abortion, instead of being part of healthcare, which it is, a needed life-saving procedure, which it is, has been used to create a wedge between people politically and personally.
Yeah, you're the one doing it. You're the one creating the wedge, Caitlin. You are one of those people who runs to the media with these stories to create a wedge between people by claiming falsely that a 10-year-old had to leave Ohio and come to you in Indiana for an abortion. When all the Ohio lawmakers that we've spoken to and the Attorney General says that didn't need to happen. That child was covered under the exceptions of Ohio law. So you created this, Caitlin, so that you could use it as a political wedge. Do you see how this works? Do you see how this? And now she's blaming other people for doing that thing that she did.
And it shows how far we have come and how sad that is.
It is sad. It is sad. You're sad. You're a sad excuse for a human being. This is outrageous. And I can't believe that these people call themselves, like Nora O'Donnell calls herself a journalist, and she didn't bother to ask Caitlin Bernard, why'd you stay quiet for an entire week when you knew you had turned in your reports? Why did you let the Attorney General of Indiana go on TV and say he couldn't find your reports? Why'd you do that? Why didn't you just send them to him? Why did you create this chaos? Anybody want to know the answer to that question? I do. Okay, so they just repeat that, what she said. Oh, she's so full of shit. Listen to this. Due to privacy laws, as politicians and pundits and even publications such as the Washington Post debated over the story, Bernard had to keep mum about the June 30th procedure. Oh, she did? Then why did she tell the Indianapolis Star that she did the procedure on a 10-year-old if she had to keep quiet about it? Why did she do that? And she's full of shit, by the way, because those reports that the Indiana AG was looking for, they're public record. She did not have to keep quiet about public records that she made. That's false. That's a lie. Did Alex Hammer, or whatever his name is, who wrote this, did he check her on this? Did anyone check what she's saying to see if it's true? This is not true. Bernard had to keep mum about the June 30th procedure. No, she didn't. She could have told everyone who asked. She turned in the legally required reports. She's full of shit, this woman. And so is Nora O'Donnell for not asking her the question. However, in early July, Ohio linked 27-year-old Columbus man Luis Fuentes. His name is Gerson Fuentes, by the way. Gerson. They don't even get his name right. Look at this, Luis Fuentes. The UK Daily Mail can't even get this man's name right. And he's not a Columbus man. He's a Guatemalan man who's here illegally, which police said took place on 2 different occasions. I mean, seriously, somebody should find Alex Hammer's email address and just make fun of him for this, because this is absurd. He didn't even look up the crime, did he? His name is Gerson, not Luis. This is unbelievable. Documents obtained by the Washington Post further revealed that Dr. Bernard did report the minor's abortion before she was legally mandated to do so, contradicting televised claims made by Rokita, who said he had not received documentation. No, he didn't receive it. The fact that she put it in does not change the fact that no one gave him the reports after he made requests for them. He had to send a letter to the governor telling the governor, uh-oh, we have a problem. We need to investigate this because nobody will give me these reports. And she refused to tell the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal and me and everybody else who asked. She refused to tell anyone that she did turn in those reports. And there's no explanation for why, because they're public reports. He also called Bernard an abortion activist. Yeah, she is. And he hinted that he would personally pull her license if the story turned out to be false. So, if the story was false, shouldn't he? If she lied, shouldn't he pull her license? Yeah, he should. He didn't do anything. She has no case. Bernard, who told O'Donnell that she has felt threatened by the claims, has since sued the Indiana AG for defamation. No, she hasn't. Nope, she hasn't. That's fake news. Fake news. She has filed a tort claim, a notice of tort claim, which is just a notice that I might sue you if you don't give me some money. It is not a lawsuit, and it's not being heard in any court. And if, like I said, I would tell the Attorney General to do nothing and let her file an actual lawsuit. She has no claim for defamation. These are two public figures. The standard of evidence is so high for public officials. You have to prove that he acted with malice, which you can't prove that. There's actually more proof that he acted believing that these things were true, believing that she didn't turn in the reports because no one gave them to him. What would you think if you were the Attorney General of a state and you reached out to all your government offices that were supposed to have this report and you said, give me these reports, and they didn't respond? What would you think? Would you think that there were reports filed or not? He had every good faith reason to believe she may not have filed those reports, and that's all he said. He said, we need to find out. This is outrageous. Bernard, who told O'Donnell that she has felt threatened, moved to sue Indiana attorney. No, she didn't sue, saying he made false statements about her after the June 30th case came to light. He didn't. All he said was, if she didn't do what she's legally required to do, I'm going to investigate the hell out of her and probably take her license. There's nothing wrong with that. That's his job. It's literally his job. So she's back in the news doing what she always does, scaring women. And it makes it incredibly difficult, not just to provide abortion care, but full spectrum reproductive health care. You know, this will affect our ability to take care of miscarriages, she lied. Miscarriages are not abortions. You absolute horror of a human being. Miscarriages are not abortions. A miscarriage is a dead baby. No one is stopping anyone from getting miscarriage care. That is such a lie. We have proven it over and over again on pjmedia.com. Look up articles written by Paula Bollard on that topic. This is a lie, and the news is helping her spread it. How come the UK Daily Mail did not, after this paragraph, say, we have spoken to experts and miscarriages and abortions are not the same thing, and there doesn't appear to be any fact-based evidence that says miscarriages will not be taken care of? Because that's what they should have done. She's lying, and they're just letting her lie. This will affect our ability to take care of complications in early pregnancy that could kill someone. Notice she does not say ectopic pregnancy. That's what she means. And the reason she didn't say it, because she knows it's a lie. So now she's just saying complications in early pregnancy. What complications, Caitlin? Which ones? This will affect our ability to provide infertility treatment, contraception. The list goes on. Oh, really? Abortion laws affect your ability to provide contraception to people? What, you're talking about the abortion pill, aren't you? That's not contraception. That's after you get pregnant. That's not contraception. Oh my God. The way they lie. Look at the way they lie. How come the person interviewing her didn't go, really, what kind of contraception? And then make her say the abortion pill. Asked what she would say to those who believe abortion is immoral, Bernard said their personal religious beliefs should not impede on others' access to medical care. Well, you know what I have to say to that, Caitlin? Your personal religious beliefs should not impede on others' access to life. Because you believe abortion is a sacrament in your religion. But some people don't. Some people, and including our Constitution, says we have a right to life. That's in the very first sentence of the Declaration. The right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There's absolutely nothing in there that says that women have a right to kill their offspring. And if you told the founding fathers that that's what you believed they meant, they'd be rolling around on the floor laughing, and then they'd shoot you. Like, there's no right to kill your offspring in the Constitution. Stop it. What I would say is, if you don't believe that you would have an abortion, then don't have one, she said. Yeah, okay. So if you don't believe in murdering someone, you shouldn't commit murder. But who am I to stop someone else from committing murder? That's what you're saying. God, so stupid. And by the way, viewing abortion as murder does not have to be a religious belief. There are plenty of atheists out there who probably find themselves on the pro-life side because they study science and they see that that's a human baby and that at some point that baby has rights. And that point is not when they draw their first breath. Most reasonable people have come to conclude that a human in the womb has rights at some point. during the pregnancy. Otherwise, how do you end up charging somebody with vehicular homicide when they kill a pregnant woman? They charge them with 2 counts. So it's a baby when you want it, but not a baby when you don't. That's totally irrational thinking. Stop it. Now, here's the hearing saw a detective testify that the victim in the case was forced to travel to Indiana to get an abortion following the Dobbs ruling, a claim that conservatives had cast doubt on just days before. No, it's still a doubtful claim because she did not have to go to Indiana. She could have got it in Ohio. So why did they take this kid to Indiana? Why did Caitlin Bernard get involved in this? How come nobody asked her why she was the one that was asked to do this? It's such a setup. Set up for political purposes, and it's gross. A detective also testified that Columbus police learned about the girl's pregnancy, on June 22nd. Okay, blah, blah, blah. That was made by her mother, but now her mother says she didn't do it. So, and she says that Gerson Fuentes is innocent. The Supreme Court, yeah, we know that. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So the girl had an abortion. Okay, we got that. What else? An Indianapolis physician who provides abortion services, Caitlin Bernard, had told the Indianapolis Star that so here he's contradicting himself from earlier in the article. Do you remember when he said it was an unnamed source in the Indianapolis Star? Now he says it was Caitlin Bernard. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy literally wrote this and has no idea what he's talking about. That an abortion had been provided for such a child because the girl couldn't get an abortion in Ohio, which had a newly imposed state ban on abortions at the first detectable fetal heartbeat. Oh, so, and look how he's contradicting himself again. Because earlier in the article, in his bullet points, he said there was a 6-week cutoff. Now it's at the first detectable fetal heartbeat. And then again, he's going to look at this. The child was 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant, therefore ineligible by just 3 days to receive the procedure in her home state. False and fabricated. It's not true, because there is no 6-week cutoff. According to the court records, a report was generated on June 22nd, which nobody bothered to tell the Attorney General of Ohio about, with the Columbus Division of Police for rape. On July 6th, the victim identified Fuentes to authorities as the person who raped her. A whole week later, Fuentes was searched with a search warrant for a saliva sample and was taken into custody, where he confessed to raping the victim multiple times. Fuentes appeared in court on Wednesday and was given a $2 million bond. Yep. Okay, we know that. Finally, we get to it. Franklin County Municipal Court Judge Cynthia Ebner said the case didn't warrant Fuentes, who is believed to be undocumented, to be held without bond. Unbelievable. Okay, so now we're going to go and we're going to slander Dave Yost. That's what he's going to do at the Daily Mail. Fuentes' arrest on July 13th came less than 2 weeks after the story surfaced. Also came just 2 days after Ohio AG Dave Yost said his office didn't hear a whisper about the 10-year-old girl who allegedly had to leave the state in order to get an abortion. Speaking to Fox News on July 12th, Yost, a Republican, asserted that there was no biological evidence of the case, saying that a rape kit was not performed. Yost went on to declare that his office works closely with law enforcement and would have known about the incident if one was filed. This brings up a huge question. Reportedly, the police took a DNA sample from the abortion on June 30th. They got that. So where did they send it? It's not at the state crime lab, because he checked the state crime lab and they didn't have anything. Where did the DNA sample go? There are so many questions about this still. It's incredible. The declaration came 5 days after the girl reportedly identified Fuentes to authorities, and weeks after Child Services report was generated, and 12 days after the reported rape. So how come nobody is asking why he was lied to by prosecutors and local police and sheriffs? He said, "We have regular contact with prosecutors and local police and sheriffs, not a whisper anywhere." Why didn't they tell him, the Attorney General, when he was asking? The very next day, Indiana Attorney General Rokita, also on Fox News, questioned whether Bernard had actually reported the procedure to state officials, bragging that he was gathering evidence to see if the doctor could face a criminal charge. That's his job. If a doctor in his state is not doing their job and they're not following the law, it is the Attorney General's job to bring an investigation against that doctor and against her license. How come she didn't tell him that she did what she did? It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. It says the appearance did not see the lawmaker provide evidence to back up his claims. Yes, he did. He said, I reached out to all the offices that should have these letters, the documents that she said she turned in, and none of them will give me anything. That seems like evidence to me. Evidence that the reports didn't exist, but they did exist, and for some reason, they were withholding them from him too. What is going on inside our governments, local governments, where they're withholding documents from the attorney generals of the states who are asking for the documents? 2 days later, the case was all but confirmed, smearing egg on the faces of several politicians, pundits, personalities, and even news publications who questioned the story. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you idiot from the Daily Mail. It didn't get egg on anybody's face. This story should have been questioned from the very beginning by the people who reported it at the Indianapolis Star. They didn't do that. They're terrible journalists. They didn't follow the laws of journalism. They only had one source. They had no corroborating evidence, no corroborating police reports, and they should have got that first before they went forward with this story and caused all this chaos and confusion. Nobody's got egg on their face here except the mass media who shared this unverified story and Indianapolis Star. Those are the people with the egg on the face, not the people who said, is this real? Did this happen? And if it did happen, where's the rapist? We're not the ones with egg on our faces. There's now a rapist in jail. Good for us for making the journalists actually do their jobs that they refused to do in the first place. Rokita, meanwhile, has 90 days to investigate or settle the claim before facing legal action from Bernard. So here he knows she has not actually filed a lawsuit before facing legal action. After that period of time, her suit filed last week can go through? No, she didn't file a suit. Boy, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It was a nasty letter. There was no lawsuit. Jeez, they don't even know what a tort claim is. It's not. It's a notice of tort claim. It is not a lawsuit. It is absolutely not a lawsuit. But here she is again, Saint Bernard, putting pictures of her looking like, fighting for women. She's just untouchable now. She's the real victim. The real victim of this story is Caitlin Bernard, and don't you forget it. That's what the fake news wants you to believe. All right. That's it for me. I just had to give you that update. I'm working on stuff for work. I got to go and get back to it. Take care, everybody. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share. And I'll see you again soon.